Hello everybody, Big Planes here. Now before I dive too deep into this video on the B52 project, I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon who help to support the channel. You guys are one of the main reasons why I'm actually able to build these planes. So yeah, if you want to go support the channel over on Patreon, I will leave a link in the description below. So, I haven't been super active over the last few months on YouTube in terms of building a new model, except that is going to soon change because I have a new project that I'm looking very much forward to building. And of course, if you've read the title and you've seen the thumbnail, then you know this upcoming project is the B52D Stratofortress. So, I'm going to explain a little bit what my thought process was when I decided to do this. And I also want to explain sort of what the feature entails after the B52. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to talk about is sort of the design process and why I decided to build a B52. Now, a lot of you already might know that I already have a B52. I have a B52H that is built at a scale of 1:36. And I've actually had that model for quite a few years. I believe I built it in 2015. So what is that? It's almost 7+ years now of having that original B52 model. So yeah, I think it's time to build a new B52. So here's what it's going to be. This new model is going to be a B52D, which I have a little tiny model of right here. Now, the B52D was the variant of the B52 that was used in the Vietnam War. So yes, this is going to be quite a bit different from my previous B52, which is the H model, which is just all painted in military gray, whereas the new B52, or the not new, but the B52D that I will be building is going to be painted in camouflage on top, which is going to be sand green, dark tan, and dark green, whereas on the bottom, it is going to be all in black. So I am very much looking forward to doing this new camouflage color. In fact, you can see here with the fuselage cross section what these colors are going to look like. See if I can get better lighting there. This is what these colors are indeed going to look like. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing this. Another thing that I'm looking forward to doing with this new B52 model is making it way more portable. So many of you know that the current B52 only can be, or on the current B52, I can only remove the nose and the tail, which means I am stuck with a giant wing. I do not want that with this new B52. On the new B52, it's going to break apart at least right here at each side, and maybe even again further out here. So the wing is going to be portable, which is going to make this plane much easier to take to shows, and it's going to make it much easier to store. So those are two great things that I am looking forward to changing with the B52. And of course, I'm going to include all of the features that you guys would normally expect, including flaps, spoilers, interior, full bomb bay, retracting undercarriage, all that fun stuff. Of course, I'm going to include it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. And you can see here that, of course, I do what I normally do. This is the plan view of the model, but we also have printed out over here, I've also printed out a side view. So this is what it's going to look like from the side. Of course, I just like to do this so I can oftentimes match my proportions, especially up here at the windshield and back there at the tail. So yeah, I know a lot of you guys may not have been expecting this model. You may have been expecting another passenger plane, or I believe I announced on a Flickr a while back that I would attempt to do an XB70. I will still do civilian planes going forward. In fact, the next one after this may very well be a civilian airplane. I have not completely decided on what that will be, but it probably will be a civilian plane. Although I really want to give a best stab at a B52 because the B52 is one of my favorite airplanes, especially the B52s with camo. You know, I'm a big fan of putting camouflage on planes, and it always is sort of hit me the wrong way that the B52 that I do have is all gray. So I'm looking forward to building this plane with camouflage on it. So yeah, I hope you guys are looking forward to this as well, because I am really excited about this project. I have already bought parts, and the parts should be arriving, but they're not going to be coming very quickly since I ordered some of them through Lego Direct. So expect actual building to begin on this thing maybe 3 weeks from now, maybe closer to a month. I don't know. It depends when the parts for this arrive. Probably closer to 2 to 3 weeks from when you're watching this video is when construction of this model will begin. So of course I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to bringing you guys some new videos on this project. This is going to be a pretty large project, although In comparison to obviously the A380, which I have a little model of back here, this thing is not that large, especially maybe I've become jaded to these because when I first printed out the blueprint, I thought I scaled it incorrectly. Whereas, yes, in reality, the fuselage would only be about 9 feet wide. And by the way, this is smaller than many narrow-body jets like the 737 over there. It's even narrower than that. Now, of course, the wing on this is just absolutely massive. That's what makes this sort of an interesting build, is that it has such a massive wing in comparison to the otherwise very thin fuselage. So that's going to be one of the challenging parts of this. One big challenging part, I can already see this coming, I know sort of a poor transition there, but one of the challenging parts of this is going to be, how am I going to design this wing to not sag? Because there's very little space, obviously, in the wing carry-through section. So getting this to not snap off, and of course this has outrigger wheels, which we do not want to be touching the ground. You know, this is going to be a challenge, bit of an engineering challenge, if you will. So I'm looking forward to ways I'm going to solve that. And of course, on top of that, or really in this case below it, there is going to be a bomb bay. So yeah, there's not a lot of room in this, even though it is a bomber and it doesn't really have a ton of interior. There are definitely going to be engineering challenges with this. So yeah, I'm going to try to keep this video more or less pretty short. Not a whole lot to update you about in this one, other than the fact that I am indeed building a B52D. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to bringing you update videos pretty soon to this. So yeah, that's all I really have for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And that's it for this one. Bye for now.